Hey Dad, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday.
Have a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy 70th birthday, patriarch.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Apple. Hope you have a wonderful day.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Grandpa. I love you. Happy birthday, Apple.
Remember.
Little.
I didn't interrupt you.
As it is your birthday, your 70th birthday to be exact.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you.
Some of the best things or memories I have of times that you have gotten us all together for big family gatherings or vacations, those are always so special. But the best part about any gathering that we have are the things that happen unplanned. I love watching your face when Mike teases you or says something off the wall.
Because let's be honest, I'm pretty difficult.
I love the conversations we have just sitting around. I love the games we play and how intense you can get, like when we play Tenzi. All those unplanned moments are the ones that mean the most to me. But I thank you very much for getting the family all together so that we have great remember whens.
One of my favorite memories with Grandpa is when we went to Ruby River and ate dinner with him, and it also makes me laugh sometimes when we take pictures of all the triplets with him, and also when we go camping. It's really fun.
I remember when the Buckner boys went to the Rush Funplex for a guys' night out. At the end, everybody but me and Grandpa wanted to go play a laser tag. So me and Grandpa stayed behind, and we played bowling. He beat me, but we had a great time.
One of my favorite remember ones with Grandpa is when we drove to Canada with just me, him, Grandma, and Jenny. And we had a lot of fun just driving, and it took forever, and we were joking around and playing word games, and I just had a great time.
Happy birthday, Apple. What else?
I don't share the same values as you, so I know this is going to be a day that you're going to celebrate with a lot of alcohol. And I'm not judging. I don't think that makes you a bad person. I just choose not to partake in those activities, especially since I joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. But I hope it's a fun day for you, and I hope you don't do anything that you regret and that you don't drive. But I do hope that you have a great 70th birthday.
What's your favorite thing about Apple?
That you're really, really nice. That you love camping. Does Apple love camping? Yeah, that you love camping.
This may not be a positive remember when for you, but it was for me. So I remember when I was in labor with Sawyer, Stevie, and you came and supported me through that process and drove me to the hospital. And what I appreciate is even though you may not have agreed with me in my weird and wacky ways, that you supported me. And you have continued to support me, even though I may not follow what is traditionally accepted in the world. And I'm a little bit of a, crunchy granola hippie, but I appreciate that you have always loved me, even if we didn't see eye to eye on things. And for that, I will always be grateful, and that is a lesson that I intend to take with me through the rest of my life. I love you, Dad.
Love you, Apple.
What's your favorite thing about Apple?
To me, Daddy has to share a lot of his things.
Yeah? What else is your favorite thing about Apple?
That's only my favorite thing about Apple.
Do you love his hugs?
Yeah, those are only my favorite things.
Okay. Say happy birthday, Apple.
Happy birthday, Apple. I love you back and forth to the moon 50 times.
Whoa.
You know how much I love you?
How much?
600 and 2 million
Whoa.
and 40 and 60 and 70 and 80
Wow.
and 90 and 12 and 14 and 16 and 17 and 18 and 90 and 6 and 7 and 12.
I remember when we were at not this family reunion, but the last one in Canada, where you were teaching us how to do the poi ball things, and all of the cousins were chucking them across the room, hitting each other with it. It was super fun because we try so hard, and no matter what, you're just like, keep going, you'll get it, when you're chucking them across the room. That was my favorite remember when.
I have a remember when of Grandpa when it was Thanksgiving and they were getting ready for dinner, and I sat down and he came up to the couch and cuddled with me, and we were camping, and the kids were playing and the adults were doing stuff like cooking, getting ready for dinner. And I came up to their camping ground and we started talking while eating watermelon. He was saying, "How are you doing? Are you excited for school? How's life?" And we just kept talking, and that's why I love my grandpa, because he's my grandpa.
I remember when this past family reunion, when we were at Trial Lake, when we were doing a yodeling competition, and we're like, "Grandpa, will you yodel for us?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, sure." And then you do this really, really, really funny yodel. And then I remember during the whole trip, we'd be like, "Hey, Grandpa, will you yodel for us?" And you're like, "No." And we're like, "Please, just one more yodel." And then you'd finally crack, and then you'd yodel for us. That was awesome. That was really funny.
Hey Dad, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday and share a couple remember whens that I had of you and some of the things that I am very grateful for. I will never forget in high school, you getting in my bed with a camera story when I snuck out at night. I remember feeling like, oh crap, I'm in trouble. And yet the only thing you said was, "Son, we'll talk in the morning." And it was the very next morning. I remember it was not, you were not upset. It taught me a good lesson, but you handled it very well. And with most things, with how stubborn I am growing up, and when I wanted to go do something, you always gave me my agency. You always said, "Son, you're a big boy, you can make your own decisions." And that's something that I truly appreciated is you never ruling with the iron fist, but just giving your advice and your recommendations, but letting me make my own decisions. Because let's be honest, I probably would have gone ahead and made my own decisions anyways. I'm just that stubborn. I also have a really good remember when we were hiking up in the Alps with Chad, and I can't remember what hut it was, but it was the one with the glacier. And that's when you pulled us aside and we got the picture with just the three of us. And you kind of said, this is a remember when. And that was probably one of the highlights, one of the best trips, camping, hiking, whatever, that I did with you, and something that I will always remember. So, Dad, I love you. I appreciate you. I am grateful for how you raised me. Because let's be honest, I'm pretty difficult, and not a lot of people probably could have handled how difficult and stubborn I was. But I love you. I hope you have a great birthday. And I'm looking forward to many more Remember Whens.
Where has my little dog gone? Oh, where could it be? With its ears cut short and his tail.
Oh, Grandpa, how much I love you. This is my baptism blanket. And it reminds me of when you came and baptized me in Canada. And I got given this blanket. Another time is when you guys came and watched Oliver. And on the last night, you gave me the bear that I named Nancy, so I can always remember my good friend that was playing Nancy. And then another time, we went on Memorial Day this year, and you told us stories about our great ancestors, and then after you took us to Far's to get ice cream.
So I remember one for me was when Grandma and Grandpa came up to Canada, and while they were up here, we were able to go on a scouting camping trip to Blue Lake, and it was awesome because we hiked for like 2 hours, getting to know Grandpa a lot better. And as we got up to the lake, we went fishing. Even though we didn't catch anything, it was really fun. And it was funny as Grandpa laughed at us as we slid down the glacier and into the lake.
One of my remember ones, or just even like memories that we had with Grandpa, was when they came up to Canada, and they came and visited us, and we had this, they wanted to take us out to dinner. So, us being the kids we are, we all wanted to eat at different places, and they're like, okay. So they took like Brennan and Briley to Dairy Queen, and I went and picked up a slice of pizza, and they went to like the A&W drive-in and picked up their food, and then we all took it back home and just ate, and we're talking and just bonding over the most weird dinner of these bunch of varieties that was all in like one car ride. I also still really appreciate just being able to be there at Grandma and Grandpa's house, just more than once every few months or 6 months or only during Christmas time, but like being there like multiple times in a month and just being able to connect and play games. It's just been really, really nice to be closer.
I have tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of Remember Whens. And so it was a little bit hard for me to pick, but I think my favorite 2 Remember Whens, one has always been Jake's Over the Top, because that's just kind of been our thing, and I love how like whenever we have like deals or like things where it's like if you do this we'll go to dinner or whatever, we always go to Jake's Over the Top. Or if it's like there's time, we'll stop over at Jake's Over the Top even though we haven't gone for a while. But I just love how that's our spot, and it's always just fun to go and spend some time with you. Another Remember When was when you guys came up. I can't remember if it was for the family reunion or for something else, but you guys had come up and I was really struggling, and there's a camp chair out in the back that you were sitting on, and I had just kind of just been crying, and you told me to come over and just sit on your lap, and that whatever was going on, I didn't need to tell you. I could just sit there and cry. And you told me how you used to do that with all of your kids on, I can't remember if it was like a blue couch or something.
One of the greatest Remember Whens is the blue chair, which I don't know if anybody else talks about, but it was always something that I remember because he would say, you can cry. You don't have to even tell me why you're crying. You don't have to tell me what's wrong. You don't have to even say a word. Just come and sit on my lap and cry. And I inherited the blue chair when we moved down here. So every time I walk past the chair, it has very, very fond memories for me. And growing up, that was a really cool experience to be able to have had. I cherish moments like when everybody came up for the Canada reunion and being able to fulfill one of Dad's bucket list items by doing a cattle drive and a branding, and watching him work so hard and be so natural on the back of a horse and be so dirty and sore, it made me laugh. There are a lot of moments in life that I remember, experiences with Dad that were important to me, that he created, that weren't necessarily something that he had said, this will be a remember when. Some of them, I guess it started when we were young. He always looked for opportunities to be able to give us experiences, especially in Europe. On weekends, we'd go to castles and we'd go to cheese factories, and we would just have opportunities to experience what Europe was.
What makes your grandpa special?
Playing with his toys.
Playing with his toys? Which toys do you like?
The Batman and the car set. He is kind, he is sweet, he is loving, he is caring. All bunch of different things. I wish you were at my house right now, but you can't because we're quarantined. And I like that he has a big, strong smile.
I remember when Grandpa told the story about the Indian chief and his son at camping.
Happy birthday. He's just special because he's like the dad, like the family, and he's the part that glues us together.
Some things I like about Grandpa are he is loving, he is kind, he has a big smile, and he loves his grandchildren.
I remember when Grandpa, when I got a birthday present on my birthday, and I taught Grandpa how to play Sudoku, and it was just the best time. It was so fun. He asked me a bunch of different interesting questions, and I just kind of wanted to be a teacher someday, and that actually kind of made me feel like a teacher, so I like how he helped me get better at that.
My favorite thing about Grandpa is how proud he is of me whenever he comes to see any of my performances, and how he always wants to get a hug every time I walk through the door.
The thing I love about Grandpa is that his love is unconditional. And no matter the choices that we make throughout life, he's always there and he always loves us. And I really appreciate him for that and for always being there for me personally.
People dying everywhere, but happy birthday.
One of my favorite things about my dad is his willingness to share what he has with anyone in need. Except for maybe his dry look hairspray. When I was about 13 and going through that 80s hairstyle phase, there was no hairspray in the house except for Dad's dry look hairspray. And I would often be caught stealing his hairspray until I got my own and quickly outgrew that phase. But needless to say, I am grateful to my dad for all that he gives to everyone, and for his generous, kind heart, and for the love that he shares with all of us. Love you, Dad.
The reality is, Brent, it's your birthday.
Happy birthday, Dad!
I was thinking of the things that are like essentially dad, like the things that like you say all the time or you do all the time, that really just like brings a smile to my face.
Things that I love about you, there's a lot. If I look at like the little things.
Here's a list of dadisms.
This. That's great.
Brent Buckner always has his gold toe socks, his cufflinks.
Your little look above your glasses. It's not like disapproving, but it's always like, huh? Like, investigating, I think, kind of thing. Like, you sure?
Dad always says, the reality is, yes, dear. Mind over mattress. Frankly, my dear.
When I think about moments, remember whens, if you will, with you specifically, I have a couple favorites. I have, in New Zealand, just all week, trash-talking Nathan about beating him in go-karts and those street go-karts things. And as we're going and we're trying to, like, figure it all out, I suddenly look to my left, and there you are, this, like, 65-year-old man, like, hunched over, holding onto the joystick, and you had your big old smile on your face, and you flew right by us. If I could, like, snapshot, maybe later, you know, after this life, I can show you that snapshot because it's amazing. It's probably my favorite, like, single picture of you that I have in my memories.
A few of my favorite remember whens of Dad. I was in college and it was Christmas time and CJ was on his mission, and there was a package that came to my Reader Hall address from CJ, and I had already come down from Logan and I wasn't going to be there to get it, and I was so devastated that I wouldn't have this package that CJ made for me for Christmas. And you one day just said, get in the car, we're gonna go for a drive. And we drove all the way up to Logan. I opened my mailbox, I got the package, and we drove all the way back down. And it was a 2-hour drive, but it was wonderful to spend that time with you, and that you would do that for me, especially in like the snowy bad weather of Logan and Sardine Canyon.
I didn't know that.
It's adorable.
That's
right?
adorable. If I think back, there's one remember when I don't think I've really brought up to you before, because it's a time that, like, I'm somewhat embarrassed by, but it was before getting married, when Jess and I were engaged, is when the adversary worked the hardest on me, I think, in my entire life. I was very emotionally unstable. I was up and down, and I remember we were staying at my mom's house in Ogden, and I just felt like I felt the presence of something not good, and I was having the hardest time, and it was like 3 a.m. And I was all over the place, and Jess called you and your wonderful wife. And I remember feeling hopeless, and you came over to give me a blessing, and when you walked in, I saw you in your suit and tie, and I knew, like, right then, in that moment, that I was going to be okay, because the priesthood was entering the room, and you are somebody that has changed my life, that is a mentor that I really legitimately think I can't have more respect for. And so you were kind of a beacon of hope when you walked in, and you gave me the blessing, and it was incredibly helpful. And you've just always been there for us, no matter what. And I love you, and I thank you for that. And I hope you have the most wonderful 70th.
I remember in England, we used to go to Warwick Castle. Like, every time people would come to town, we'd take them to Warwick Castle, and Dad loved Warwick Castle. We all did. The wax figures were super cool, but I remember one specific time that this, the guy who did the sword stuff, did a demonstration on Dad with the sword. And I remember how, like, uneasy and nervous your face was as the sword was, like, flinging around you. And, like, I think there was, like, a falcon that landed on you. I don't know. I might be grandizing it in my head. But I remember that love for cultural things that we would go to, and traveling to random cantons, and just, like, really absorbing the places that we lived in to learn about them and learn the cultures and understand more of the place that we were living. And I think I've taken that into moving to LA and trying to, like, absorb the things around us, and to take in the food and the cultures, and thank you for that.
God really did give me a tender mercy when He gave me you to walk through this journey through eternity together. You know, you truly are my soulmate, my best friend, and I want to honor you today as it is your birthday, your 70th birthday to be exact. As I think about the journey that we've been through and the remember whens, the memories that you have built, I'm so grateful that those are one of your loves. You have such a desire to build memories with your children and with your family, and now your grandchildren. I love the fact that you like to go, see, and do, and the challenges that we have faced together, they've been remember whens, and I am so grateful for them. I'm grateful that you have raised our children in the gospel, that you've loved to read scriptures with them in the mornings, even when they don't want to get up. I like the fact that we take time to watch movies together or get into a series on TV together. Those are fun times after we've had a full day's work. I love when you hold my hand while we're sleeping. That means a lot to me. I'm grateful for your kindness in helping our children monetarily as they need it in this life. I love the fact that you love to serve the Lord. You love to go to the temple, and you love serving when someone has to move or they need their yard redone or whatever. That's very special to me. Your love for me has been very tender as I stop and I think about back in Boise, how badly I wanted to paint, and the fact that I had always wanted to paint all my life. And you said, well, go find somebody that paints the way you do and take from them. And you supported me through that, and you have been so supportive as I have had desires to be creative. I appreciate that fact, that you're there by my side, spurring me on, helping me be better, do better, and achieve my goals in life. I think about the times when you were bishop, and the love that grew in our home during that time was beautiful. And then when you were mission president, the way you loved those kids, those are remember whens for me. I remember taking our children to all of the castles, the many sites over in Europe. We truly have a lot of remember whens, a lot of special times. And I want to wish you a very, very happy 70th birthday. I am so grateful that I have you by my side for all eternity. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. I love you, dear.